If you inherited 1 million US dollars at the age of 20, what would your life look like? Your first thought would probably be something like this. You wouldn't have to drag yourself to early morning classes or tedious internships. You could grab a fancy sports car, rent a downtown penthouse, and book last-minute flights anywhere without checking prices. Every little thing you've ever hesitated to buy would suddenly be within reach. It feels like all your daily frustrations would vanish in an instant. But I need to lay out a harsh truth right now. Without mature judgment and solid financial literacy to ground you, that sudden windfall isn't a gift. It's a cage that will trap you for the rest of your life. Most viral wealth videos only show the glamorous side of sudden wealth. Their script always revolves around endless pleasure. You'd trade your beat-up old car for a brand new luxury ride, move out of cramped shared housing into a spacious high-rise, and treat every friend to dinners and trips without a second thought. You'd believe all your past hardships had finally been erased. That's the glossy fantasy the internet sells non-stop. Hardly anyone talks about how fleeting that joy really is. Here's a critical statistic you've likely never heard of. Long-term research from wealth management firms shows 70% of young heirs blow their entire inheritance within 7 years. Let's walk down that reckless path step by step. At 20, you quit school and your part-time job entirely, cutting off all steady income streams. You drop $80,000 on a car, plus insurance and maintenance fees. $12,000 vanishes on travel and lavish social outings each year. Relatives and old friends will line up with requests to borrow money, and saying no makes you seem cold and ungrateful. You lend out thousands that you'll never get back. With no way to replenish your funds, your savings shrink month after month. Your spending habits are already set in stone, so you start racking up credit card debt to fill the gaps. By the time you hit 30, your inheritance is long gone, and you're buried under piles of loans. This isn't a fictional scenario, it's the real-life story of countless young inheritors. Most people make a massive miscalculation. They assume $1 million sitting in the bank will last forever. A simple set of numbers shatters that illusion. The average annual inflation rate sits at 3.2%. If you leave your money in a low-interest savings account, its purchasing power will drop by nearly 30% over a decade. A basic savings account barely generates enough interest to keep up with rising prices. The balance number might stay similar on your screen, but what you can afford slowly shrinks year by year. When you reach your 30s and the cash runs dry, you'll have zero work experience or professional credentials built up over the past decade. The contrast between your past lavish lifestyle and your new financial struggles will feel crushing. Now, let's look at the other path. The 20-year-old who knows how to plan wisely with that million. First, you set aside $150,000 as an emergency fund, locked away and untouched no matter what happens. Second, you allocate $400,000 to broad market index funds. Historical data from the S&P 500 delivers a 7% after-tax average annual return, which reliably offsets inflation over time. Third, you invest $300,000 into rental properties that generate steady monthly passive rent checks. The remaining $150,000 goes straight into self-improvement, professional courses, and industry networking. You never drop out of school or quit your job entirely. The inheritance acts as a safety buffer, not a finish line. The gap between these two lives is staggering. Over 20 years, the difference in their net worths will exceed 10 million US dollars. If you've daydreamed countless times about a sudden windfall to escape your current grind, hit pause for a moment. Drop a comment below about the first thing you'd do with $1 million. We can unpack all the hidden costs that come with that choice together. Nearly everyone only calculates material gains and losses. They overlook the invisible wounds that sudden wealth inflicts on your relationships and mental state. Old close friends will grow distant or overly flattering. Some will secretly resent your money, making genuine connection impossible. Your family members will start viewing you through a financial lens, and the pure warmth you once shared with them will fade away. Worse still is the empty loneliness that creeps in. When every problem can be solved with cash, you lose the small sense of anticipation that comes from working toward goals. Days stretch out empty, filled with quiet anxiety no luxury item can fix. The hardest burden that comes with wealth is something no social media creator talks about. You can never tell if people care about you or only care about the money you hold. Plenty of people mistakenly believe wealth's ultimate reward is unlimited spending power. That's a fundamental misunderstanding. $1 million is nothing more than a set of choices. It lets you turn down jobs you hate and take risks without panic. But it can never build your resilience or fill an inner void. If you haven't learned the difference between assets and liabilities, compound interest and inflation, that lump sum will only feed laziness and erode your ability to stand on your own 2 feet. True wealth isn't the number in your account. It's the capability to rebuild your life even if you lose every cent you own. If you realize sudden wealth is never a cure-all and real security comes from understanding how money works, hit like and save this video. In my next series, I'll break down step by step how to build passive income without any inheritance at all. We always envy people who stumble into a fortune, yet few stop to ask what mental and emotional toll that fortune carries. Money won't change who you are, it will only magnify every part of your character. Inheriting $1 million at 20 is both a gift and an unforgiving test. The path you choose is entirely yours to walk.